All right. So, guys, it is the Bitcoin Weatherman here. Um, Welcome. What I'm doing right now is a little bit of scalping, some some scalp trades. Oh, grab my mouse. Now, all day I have just been trading Tron. I mean, it's been a great weekend, I'll say, for some Tron trades. Started just as an experiment here with 2000 ish Tron, just a little bit over 2000, and just moved half of my position in anticipation for the price. As we can see here, MACD just opened up again for some more downside. Um, Anyways, just sold half of my position here in anticipation for some more downward moving. Let's see here. Get a 5-minute chart. Yeah, so in anticipation of some more downward movement, we just got rid of half of our position. And we can see here that if I started with 2000 and I just got rid of half of my position, the other half would have been the other 1228 there. We're up 450, something like that, up 440 Tron over this weekend. Really just a fun weekend here. Just trading away. And gosh, if I was looking at this 5-minute chart instead of that 15, I might have caught this just a smidge earlier. Now, my hope here is that during this video, the price is just going to keep going down to a point where we can identify maybe we've hit a floor where the price may then start to reverse and go back up. And so that's why I've got a few charts going here. Let's just go ahead and change this over to a 5-minute chart as well. Yeah, I could have caught that a little bit earlier on a 5-minute chart if I was paying attention. No bother. In any event, we did exit the position, and now we're waiting here. As we can see, we're getting pretty close on the RSI to that 30 level, and we know that 30 level is going to indicate that this is oversold, and so we can anticipate some buyers maybe coming in here. You'll notice, though, that during some of these dips, we see that, we get an indication maybe it's time to start selling right before it actually gets to 30, and then we do stay under 30 for a little while. That is typically a trend that we'll see if it's actually going to go past the 30 there. And so that is what I'm anticipating will happen here. I do anticipate that this is going to break through 30 and play around down there for a little while until we feel comfortable that we can buy back in. Really just scalping, picking up a few extra coin. It's going to go back up. See, really the goal here, if I switch this out for a second here, if I look at a daily chart, we're really not doing too bad on a daily chart. I would still say that we are in a bull run. There's a little bit of a pullback going on right now. The weekends, I'll say, is really not going to be typically the most fun times to trade. Usually during the weekends, there's not a whole lot of movement. Things do actually tend to go down over the weekends. And so for me, for someone who's, trying to build up more coins, because I fully anticipate that this on a daily chart is going to, continue to raise higher. See, we haven't even gotten anywhere near all-time highs yet. And so, I mean, there's already coin EOS, for example, another coin that I'm holding, has already touched all-time highs and continues to stay around all-time highs from previous. And the way EOS's chart is actually setting up, if you look at it, it's going to be more of like this, but it goes up higher. And then there's some pullback on that. That's looking like it's setting up for a beautiful cup and handle. So we're going to keep watching EOS because I do anticipate bigger things from EOS as well. But right now, it's all about Tron. We are trading some Tron right now. And I didn't want to make this a super long video. I just wanted to kind of explain some of what my strategy is here. Just really looking for areas where we can get in, where the price is going to be going down. Enough for me to want to sell my position. Or what I do is I usually will sell half of my position at any one time. You never know. You may be wrong, and it's less of a hit if you have only gotten rid of half of your position, whereas you're you're risking less, so the reward is also going to be less. But in this instance here, we can see that there's, on a 15-minute chart at least, some ways down until we get to the 30. And so I really do anticipate that we're going to start seeing some downward. Like, I've been watching this for a while, and we've been playing around here all day, like right around the 50 level. So here's 58, and here's 42. I mean, so we've really been in that middle ground for quite some time, and it was kind of you couldn't really tell which direction or the other on a 15 at least, 15-minute chart, which way the coin was going. And so let's kind of explain a little bit about, exactly what I am looking at here. So this is a 15-minute chart. I got some feedback on one of the previous Bitcoin Weatherman videos where I was actually in front of the camera. So if I'm looking at a 15-minute chart here, that means that each one of these candles is going to represent 15 minutes of price action. And so here I can see a large green candle. That indicates that the price started here at this level and closed here at this level. It's green because the price started at a lower level and closed at a higher level. So when things close at a higher level, meaning the price is moving up, you'll see that as indicated as green. And this candle here does represent one 15-minute price period. And so here we're looking at some more movement here. Now, this candle here was the setup for this candle here, which indicated that we may start moving down. Now, this candle here, if we look at a 5-minute chart, is actually these two candles, or kind of these 3 candles in this section here. And so if I was watching a 5-minute chart, maybe I could have seen here that the price was starting to downward trend. We did get a little bit lower than we'd previously been. You know what? No. Look, right around here is where we really did notice that the price was going to start going lower than it previously was, without any, kind of reversal back upwards like it was doing all day, just kind of bouncing around. And so price is just continuing to go downward here. We can see when we kind of started the video, I think we were around the 860, probably 868 area. And if you follow my my Instagram, Bitcoin Weatherman, there was some posts on there, about trading Tron. This is actually one of my favorite coins to trade, also being one of my favorite coins as well. It's a long-term, a long-term hold for me in terms of projects that I think are actually going to amount to something in the long run. And for that reason here, yeah, definitely very excited about Tron. And so what I'm not trying to sell Tron to then turn it back into Bitcoin and just keep Bitcoin. I do think, Bitcoin as well is another project that is worth holding. But for me, with the amount of Tron that I hold compared to the amount of Bitcoin, just in terms of total whole coins altogether, I would say that for long-term growth, I do like Tron. For what it costs right now to get in, to be able to really. So here's the thing about Tron. It's not expensive to get in right now, and let's say Tron does go to $1. I mean, that's fantastic. My goal really was to accumulate 25% more Tron over the course of this weekend, and I'm almost there. So that's what we're working on tonight, is just kind of capping that off. I would like to have accumulated an additional 500 Tron over the course of this weekend. And like I said, I'm at like the 450 mark. But I don't want to be selling my Tron. I do want to hodl the Tron. I'm just being greedy here and trying to snatch up a few extra Tron. And we do that by selling around this area over here, and then waiting until it goes lower so I can buy more. So let me give you an example here on Binance, where I'm actually doing my trading. And this still is wide open right here, this MACD, to the downside. And so I would still say that there's still more downside to go. So for example here, 1,228 Tron is half of what I had, and so that means that I sold 1,228 Tron. And so let's I'm just gonna, for argument's sake, let's say I was to buy Tron again. Just and again, I'm scalping, so I'm not looking for crazy big, swings or anything like that. But let's say, maybe 850, and I bought 100% with the Bitcoin that I have. So 1228, and then I turned 1228 into 1249. I mean, really not bad. And when you think about it, let's say each Tron was worth $1. Right now, it's only 8 cents, 9 cents, teeter tottering back and forth. But let's say each Tron was worth $1. That would mean I made, in whatever time it takes for it to go, down to that level, I would have made, that many dollars. Um, it's all about percents, and really, if you're making 25% in a weekend, it's a very good weekend. Pat yourself on the back. You've done well. Um, let's switch back over here to a 15-minute chart, and we are wide open on that 15-minute chart as well, for definitely some more downside. Pretty excited about that. 850 may not even be too zealous of a target, really, looking here. I mean, 856 is a previous low, 852, 848. Really, 850 is a great target. So I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to be greedy. I am going to let the chart kind of dictate what I do. You need to remember you're not alone here. There are other traders that are trading right alongside you, employing similar strategies, perhaps different strategies. And really, what you'll want to do is just kind of pay attention, get a feel for the sentiment of the market, pick your strategies very well, which strategies you enjoy using, and stick to them. I don't like to be super greedy. I am just scalping here. Now, it is possible to see, potentially the price shoot down or shoot back up. And so for that reason, when you or me, when I'm trading, like I said, my goal is to hodl the Tron that I have. So if I have Tron, I don't necessarily need to be watching the chart so much as when I have sold some of my Tron. Because if the price goes up too high, then getting back in, I'm not going to be doing it at a bargain. I'm going to be paying more than what I sold it for, and that would defeat the entire purpose. I would come out with less Tron than I started with, and that's not the goal here. The goal here is to not necessarily make monetary gains immediately, with the understanding that the more Tron that I can accumulate now, the better I'll be downstream. And so that's kind of what we're doing here. Again, just trading right along here, watching the charts. Very important that for this strategy, you watch the charts while you are not holding the coin, and you'll sleep a lot better. Trust me. So let's see here on a 3-minute chart. And so we can see here on a 3-minute chart, very interesting, going down, stepping across, going down again, stepping long ways across here. Now we're going down again. I suspect perhaps we may step across a little bit here. That looks good. That's a good setup for continuing downward. Let's see here on a 1-minute chart. And the 1-minute chart is really just an exaggerated version of that 3-minute chart here. So again, coming down, stepping across, coming down, stepping across, and then just continuing that motion. And again here, this 1-minute chart, we can see even though the RSI got below that 30, really here touching the 20, came back up around 35, even higher. Now on a 1-minute chart, the RSI is going to move a lot faster, obviously, because again, we're looking at a 1-minute chart. So each of these candles now is going to represent, well, you probably guessed it, 1 minute. So the RSI is obviously going to react a lot more violently, I guess you could say. But that's great for, scalp trading. And we can see here, there's a lot of buy and sell opportunities, for scalp trading. This strategy that I'm using here, this indicator, is actually called the pivot reversal strategy. I'm not a super big fan of using this on charts lower than 15 minutes. This is a great strategy, as we can see here. If I were to have listened exactly to this strategy, that would have been, I would have been in that trade there for 17 hours before exiting. Okay. And then, let's see here. And then out of the trade again for 9 more hours, or 6%. So again, usually what I'll do is half of my Tron. So that means that I would have accumulated here 3%, an additional 3% Tron, because this is where I'm getting my Tron from, is these falls here. Okay. Let's see here if I would have done the same strategy here. Let's see. If I would have listened exactly to this, I would have accumulated another almost 3%. Again, because I'm only using half of my total Tron at one time. Let's go back over here. I like to look at my... Now, here's the thing. This chart is Tron versus Bitcoin on Binance, right? This is Binance, and this is Tron versus Bitcoin. So these, for all intents and purposes, are the same charts. Okay? They are the same charts. So, let's see here. As we can see, there are fluctuations here on this 15. And those are the ones that we're playing. Maybe selling here, buying back in here. You know? So when you believe in a coin, and I don't mean that you just blindly believe in it. I mean that you've done your FA, your fundamental analysis, which hopefully, you know, when we have our video on fundamental analysis, you'll watch that and you'll, you know, understand a little bit more about what that is. When you've done your fundamental analysis and you've identified this is a project that I like for XYZ reason, you've maybe determined that there's nothing like it. This is new, it's exciting, it's a new frontier, it's something that, you know, doesn't yet exist, but will make the world a better place. It's just a great scheme. Whatever it is that you've, you know, done your fundamental analysis on, whether it's you like Bitcoin Cash more than you like Bitcoin because of their marketing tactics, which we're going to talk about that in another video here. But whatever the basis for your fundamental analysis, if you've determined that you like a coin and you feel like it's going up and you have charts that can back that up, right? Like I've got charts that can back that up, that when I bought into Tron initially, okay, I want to say somewhere I 500 is what I spent initially for my Tron. After like this really super just gnarly dump, but I mean I wasn't super into buying any altcoins until after, you know, everything started kind of dumping and I was looking for some other things to trade. It went back to the stock market for a little bit and you know, that wasn't really what I was enjoying. Anyway, so picked up some Tron. A few of my coworkers were talking about this coin. It's great. I saw the prices for a little while going up, going down, got in 500, 600-ish range. Started going down, started going up. It was doing a few things. I mean, here we're looking at a weekly chart. Let's look at a daily chart here. See what that looks like. Scroll that out. So Tron, let's see. I bought in... Yeah, so right around here, Tron just started dumping. From my days in the stock market, after having identified that this is a pretty good coin, started averaging down like crazy. It went back up and I started feeling pretty good about it, you know, didn't really sell any at that point, then started averaging down again like crazy. And I want to say somewhere around here is where I stopped really averaging down. and stopped buying in, just kind of watched it, didn't do anything. As it started picking up some more steam, again, started making some buys, sells, things of that nature. Really, when it was, recently here, kind of just picking up all this steam with the, altcoin rally, so to speak, that we had. That's when I started really getting in and really doing this trading in the way that I'm doing now, where I'm enjoying these downs, not necessarily by averaging down and spending more money, hoping that the end is soon. Um, what I've been doing now, like we've been seeing here, is this scalping, and it's been very rewarding, very fun, I will say. And we'll go ahead and switch back over here to our 15. Still looking good on the 15. That candle doesn't scare me. Let's see over here. Got some of our other stuff on. And so this is what I was using. It was actually me and my son were trading. I was teaching him basically the same strategy I'm teaching you guys here now. And it was great. It was great. He woke up earlier than I did, and he was watching this same chart here. And basically what we were doing is just using, again, kind of this strategy here, but also combining it with seeing some of these swings and identifying some of these areas. Okay, so we knew that when things got outside of this area here, because this line was kind of a support line that we noticed, when things got out of this blue area here, they would kind of tend to creep back down in to the blue area. And we also identified here that maybe there was kind of like this top to this red area. We drew some other lines here where there were other support levels, other resistance levels. And essentially when things got, for example, right over here, sold and bought right back in. Maybe bought back in kind of over here, thinking that it might not actually touch all the way back down, but we weren't anticipating this to go down further than that. Now over here, I think is one of the ones where we noticed right here that it was kind of hovering, didn't break through. So we kind of, we did a little sell there, half of it, and waited. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we bought back in at around 869. Then the price continued downward. And so missed a little bit of action there. So we kind of had to wait until the price got up a little bit higher so we could sell again. Sold again. And now we're just kind of waiting here to see what goes on now. And so really just gonna continue waiting here. While we're waiting, I said that we were gonna do this in a different video. May as well do this now in this video. I mentioned earlier about Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin, or some people call it Bitcoin Core. There's kind of an argument or an ideological debate rather going on right now about what's Bitcoin and what is not Bitcoin when it comes to Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. My opinion is that, and I did write an article about this, it is on bitsandtokens.com. I did sign it as the Bitcoin Weatherman, so it came straight from me. It's my opinion, using information that's readily available, combined with just my own understanding of the way things work. I use this analogy, and I'm going to keep this very brief. I use this analogy here. If you wake up and you are lying next to your twin, right? You went to sleep and there was only one of you. You wake up and you're next to your twin. Prior to you, waking up to your twin, it was just one. And so when you wake up, the twin has all of the same memories that you previously had, so those would be considered shared memories. But now you're able to both go out independently and create new memories. Okay? And your twin is now more popular than you. Okay? Or one of the yous is now more popular than the other one, right? Which one is the real you? The one that's more popular, or the one that most closely resembles who you originally intended to be? For me, the real you would be the one that most closely resembles who you originally intended to be, regardless of who was more popular. And so, for that reason, I do not find it shady or underhanded that Roger Ver is using Bitcoin.com as a means of promoting Bitcoin Cash alongside Bitcoin, but to the forefront. I don't find that shady or underhanded at all. And I don't find it shady or underhanded at all that he's an outspoken proponent of the fact that Bitcoin Cash is the quote unquote real Bitcoin. I think that it's an important debate. I think that it's something that is going to enlighten the public to the differences and benefits and drawbacks of one or the other of Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin. I'm not going to go into anything else. That's my position on that. I'm just a humble man here reading the charts, noticing this RSI is starting to uptick in correlation with this green candle here, and we're just going to continue watching that to make sure that we stay out of this position and get some money. And we want to make sure that this goes down a little bit lower here. Let's look at some other ways that we can see that. I can see here, as far as selling pressure, there's not a lot of people that are saying, hey, I'll sell to you, but you need to pay a large premium. So total BTC, let's say, for example, at 866, we've got 5.6 Bitcoin waiting in case anybody wants to buy it at that level, right? But I can see here that the price, let's look at this chart here. The price wants to go down so bad. Look at all these buyers waiting down here. Wow. That's a lot of buyers waiting down there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see these sellers. They are nowhere near as numerous as these buyers. Nowhere near as numerous. And look at that. The sellers know it. The sellers know it because they've now adjusted down to this 864 level. Previously, we were just seeing 866 as the low that they were willing to go, right? Switch back over here to both of these. I'm seeing crazy, crazy, crazy amounts of people willing to buy, just not for these prices, right? And so, hey man, it's looking like these prices are going to start going down. That's another way. And this is trading. This is what trading is. It's not one metric. It's not the other. It's not one chart. It's not the other. I'm using two charts. I'm using a bunch of different metrics and I'm correlating them all together. So I know when to execute a buy and when I know how to execute a sell. And because of that, we're over here accumulating some trons, okay? It's not hard. You're using a bunch of different things. I mean, look at this. Look at all these people. All these people. There's so many people. There's 40 Bitcoin waiting down here at 840. Let's do that math really quick. 40 BTC. Oh my gosh. That much money is waiting down there at 840. And then there's 22 here. I mean, come on. There's so much money waiting down here. There's so much. So, I mean, yeah, folks. Now, what I like to do, since there's so much money waiting down here, maybe is, squeeze in one right over here. Around the 843 where there's not that many buyers. Because if I try to tack on to the end of 40 Bitcoin, who knows? Okay. And like I said, tremendous amount of buyers waiting down low. Still wide open on the MACD on this 15-minute chart. Let's check a few other charts here. Yeah, I mean, we're looking great. We're looking great. $862. The price continues to go lower here. $861. Satisfying all those buyers. Look at that. Look at that. 860. Num 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 num. We're hungry. Looking at these numbers is so fun when you know what they mean. And it's not hard. You just have to. Here's the thing about wanting to learn anything. You just have to actually want to learn how to do it. It's not hard. It's really not hard. Most people just don't want to learn. I'm but a humble man. I'm just here to show you what I'm doing, try to teach you. I'm not saying you have to do things my way at all, but I mean, it works. And this strategy here, even if you don't even know what you're doing, this strategy here will, I mean, I use this strategy as confirmation, right? But then I also get mines, throughout the strategy itself. But I like it for the longer, like the trends here on this 15-minute chart, you know. Um, but even if you don't know what you're doing, just throw the strategy on till you get comfortable with it, till you can look at the strategy and then go back over to here and see what's actually happening. Why are these calls being made? Oh wow, there's an intense amount of buying pressure. Look at this. Look at this. Green. Look at this. Come on. Come on. 59. I'm telling you, like you just need to look. The chart is going to tell you what to do. You don't have to be a hero. You're not guessing. No one's guessing anything. It's not a guessing game. I had a friend tell me this was gambling. I I guess I never seen a slot machine that told you like how to win. I mean, this if this is a slot machine, it's telling me how to win. I could get back in now, and I've made more Tron. I could refresh right now like this. Okay, 100% buy. Close my laptop and I win because I got out at 28. I'm getting back in at 36. I mean, it's not hard, ladies and gentlemen. It's not hard. See here. Anything else going on? Nothing else really going on right now. All right. So what we're going to do just really quick is just jump on over to bitsandtokens.com. And I don't mean to detract from what this video actually is, but I did just want to show you guys bitsandtokens.com. Definitely great. Bitcoin Cash here. Let's see. Bitcoin Cash is up 17%, 17.5% over the past week. EOS. Now, EOS is one that I've been neglecting to trade, and that's my fault, and I really should have because I was watching EOS when it was 22. Did it get to 23? It was something like that. And, should have played around, and I didn't. Losing a lot of steam here. No bother. I got my EOS DAC as an airdrop. Anyways, here, KYC legal might not be a scam. We actually do have the third video of that installment for you guys. Definitely not a scam. We definitely did receive the coins. And so let's see here. News. We got the latest news here. Here's my section for the weather. BCH is the real Bitcoin. Just wanted to show you guys that I did, in fact, write a story here. According to Roger Ver, founder of Bitcoin Cash, BCH is the real Bitcoin. And here's my opinion right off the bat. And to be frank, if it weren't for some technicalities, this would be a true statement. Let's dive in. First things first, we need to know why BCH and BTC exist as separate entities originating from the same Genesis block. Real story is as follows. Bitcoin developers agreed to implement BIP 91, Bitcoin Improvement Proposal number 91, in July of 2017. This meant that miners not following the segregated witness protocol would have their blocks rejected by all current nodes, and was done in an effort to increase transaction speed and lower fees. In reality, the change didn't help much to increase transaction speed and lower fees. From May, the transaction speed about 4 days and cost of about $28 per transaction. We didn't really see that much relief from that. So that's obviously not the original goal of Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin. Now, I'm not speculating this. We know this because literally the title of Satoshi's white paper, which if you click here, don't even take my word for it. If you click here, it's Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Peer-to-peer? Sure. Electronic cash system. Now here's where I start to draw the line. Cash works by not having to wait if I know, or not having to wait to know if I got the money. It's cash. Someone gives it to you and you have it. The other day I transferred Bitcoin from Binance to Coinbase and I paid $3 and waited 45 minutes. I also transferred Bitcoin Cash and paid 3 cents and waited only 5 minutes for a similarly sized transaction. Cash is fast and cheap. Electronic cash should be faster and cheaper. For this reason, on an ideological level, Bitcoin Cash is Bitcoin. The only reason Bitcoin Cash is not truly Bitcoin is because Bitcoin is the coin with the highest hash rate and the most accumulated proof of work. And don't take my word for it, we can see that here. Okay, Bitcoin Cash, higher hash rate, more accumulated proof of work. Total work done right here. So there's more work that's been done on the Bitcoin network. It's more popular. And so for that reason, it's the real Bitcoin. Not because it follows Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Simply because highest hash rate, most accumulated proof of work. And then here's where I was explaining it earlier, where the real U is the one that is most closely resembled to the original U. So that's it. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Let me go back over here. Let's see what's going on. Check out a 5-minute chart. I do want a 3-minute. I lied. You don't scare me. Boop, boop. So this candle right here, we can see there's already starting to come down a little bit. Like I said, when we start to go outside of here, we do pop up a little bit, but there's not enough steam here. There's not enough steam. There's not enough people that are willing to buy at these higher levels that these buyers are asking for. And these buyers are adjusting accordingly. Or I'm sorry, these sellers are adjusting accordingly. These buyers, they don't want to pay those high levels. They like these numbers down here. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. They're ready. Let's check out these sellers. I mean, there's a lot of them back up here at 1,000. Those are people who bought in at 1,000. Oh, but if it goes back up to 1,000, look at how many of them there are up there. That's a lot of you guys that are willing to sell only if it gets back up to 1,000. And I got to tell you, you're missing out because there's a lot of price action on the way. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. Wowie. Gosh, that's so many people that just want to snap this up. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So many buyers. So many buyers. Wow. Wow. We might have to. You guys might not be able to even see me buy back in. This thing might. I mean, wow. Just a ton of buyers. 58? Interesting. Let's see what that hour looks like. Hmm. Very interesting. So looking at this hour chart here, sorry for that little delay there, guys. Looking at this hour chart here, um, let's see. Looking at this hour chart, I can definitely see here the flag or the indicator here that we should have bought in is still on. We don't yet have a red indicator like we've got over here. Still on, which is very interesting. I'm thinking the reason why that is not yet triggered. See, I would have thought maybe by this one it would have triggered, and then at least you get some of those profits, which, let's be conservative, really not a lot. Not a ton. I mean, we're looking at a percent. I am anticipating. Sorry about that. I am anticipating. Let's see here if we can go. Oh, it doesn't let me go lower than that. No bother. 3 points, 1.5 points. No, I think it's going to go lower than that. I am anticipating that we see something like that. 3 points. All right, so if there's a lot of buyers, let's see here. Let's try to identify another level where we might have some stop off. So I can't even really call that accumulation because there's a lot of, let's see here. See that? Pop, 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 pop. That's how we identify these levels. We don't make them up, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Then there was an even smaller one in here that we were playing, and then popped up. We knew that was over. Didn't even draw any lines up there because that was way outside of our. All right, came back in here and the level that we knew we could play around in. See, we know we can play around right in here. It's a level we've been playing around in. It's a level we're comfortable in. Now, it looks like we may either. We'll have to wait and see what happens when we get to 50, which I believe we will get to 50. Next stop after that's going to be somewhere around 45. 50 and 45 is going to be a critical level for us to let us know if it's going to go back up, which I wouldn't be mad at. But we want to make sure that we're back in our position before it goes back up, right? Or just keep watching and let's try to identify another level where it might stop off. So we're going to come back on this side over here. Find the bottom of a couple things here. Let's see. Yeah, that looks like it might be something. Let's see here. Because then there would have been some resistance. And it's usually longer candles that are going to break through. All right. I'm going to do a... Here? Yeah, that looks good. Let's see here. You gotta try the best you can here to just line things up the best you can to try and identify what those trends actually are. And then see, that's going to be another one right there. Look. Let me show you why. I'm going to zoom in. Touched. Touched. Okay. Resistance. resistance, support, resistance, support, support, resistance, broke through, support. I'm happy with the lines we just drew. I'm happy with these. Played inside this zone here. Resistance, resistance, support. Came over here. Yeah, I'm happy with those lines that we just drew there. Now, let's go back over here and see what that actually translates into on our 15. Oof. I think there may be another level we can identify. In between these two. Let's see. Bam! Right there. You see that? Touching. Touching. We don't make this stuff up, folks. I mean, let's see where else. Would you look at that? Touching. Touching. Okay. So that tells me that if we break 850, we got to start looking at 810. See that? See if I get a full screen chart. How do I do that? There we go. Inside this level here. Interestingly, when we kind of take a little dip out of here, see on an hourly it says no. On a 45, it says yes. And I know I'm saying that backwards for a lot of people, because for a lot of people, when it goes up, that's a good thing. For us, we don't mind when it goes down. That allows us to accumulate more. I think, though, this is going to wrap up this video here. I know it's plenty long. I know I've explained a lot. We went over a lot of topics. I will do another follow-up as I'm getting ready to buy, or perhaps after I've purchased again some of these TRON. But I do also need to go ahead and shoot a Bitcoin Weatherman segment live in front of the camera for you guys. So thanks so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate all of our subscribers, all of our viewers, and everyone who's helping our channel grow and succeed, as well as people who have visited our website and are kind of learning in this journey along with us. Thanks again for stopping by. Bitcoin Weatherman out.